Win-loss, win-loss. We've all been there before. It never seems like you can ever get to where you want to be. Climbing is hard, I get it. But even though as difficult as it is, I want to try and help you guys even just a little bit and pass on to you guys some tips on how to surpass your limit and become the best player you can be. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us again in another great video. My name is Trey and today we're going over some crucial advice that you have to hear if you want to take things to the next level. These are things that I focused on and use to help me climb, and I'm sure it'll do the same for you guys. This video will be advice for players that are frustrated and don't understand what's going on with how they can't climb. With that being said, let's begin. Of course, we're going to start with our question of the day. What do you guys think about Riot disabling Killjoy for recent tournament play? Apparently, since Killjoy is newly released, there might be a lot of bugs that might not have shown out yet, and Riot doesn't want that in tournaments. I think it shows how on top these devs are about the appearance of their game and not wanting game-breaking exploit in important matches. Even though I will be sad not seeing Killjoy for a while, I'm still excited for the future. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Into the video we go. One thing I always tell people newer to the game is to always focus on mechanics first. If you really do want to climb, you don't want to be a liability towards your team. You want solid fundamentals with aiming and movement to be able to hold sights and get entry picks. Only when you master these fundamentals can you actually start to truly play the game how it's intended to be and start climbing beyond platinum. When starting out in these lower elos, try to focus more on improving crosshair placement, counter strafing, and game awareness. Try not to think so much on when and where to use abilities. If you don't understand when to use abilities, more often than not, you probably want your gun out. This is a very prevalent problem that I see on characters who need to use utility against a push. For example, someone like Sage wants to slow orb when enemies are doing a big push. If you don't understand timing or positioning, you might be in a very exposed position when you decide to take out your slow orb or barrier wall, and that might result in you getting swung on and dying. A big philosophy I want to share with you guys is that focus on having sound mechanics first, and then secondly, think about abilities afterwards. I want you guys to simplify the game for yourself currently, and then you guys can take it slowly and learn abilities and strategies afterwards when you climb a bit more. So right now, focus purely on getting good mechanically, having good position, and what to watch at all times. When you do start to kind of transition to learning how to use abilities, try to focus on one or two characters at most. You might want to learn and play all the characters, but that's a bit overwhelming to do. You might not play other characters as proficiently compared to a character you've been playing like 300 plus games with. Of course, you can always pull out those other characters in unrated, but for ranked, you want to be respectful towards your teammates and give yourself the best chance to win. Sticking to fewer characters give you the most experience to learn them in depth quicker and know their ins and outs. Obviously, sometimes you do have to fill, so you want to play some secondary characters like Cypher or Brimstone. For the most part, don't overwhelm yourself by picking up too many agents too quickly. Stay with one and have a secondary to fill if need be. So I just mentioned to try and get good mechanically, but how will you do that? Well, it's all about practice, right? There's really no easy way to tell you this. If you come from a CSGO background, it'll be a lot easier as you have more experience with the same mechanics as in Valorant. For other gamers though, you have to learn a lot more, such as stopping when shooting, crosshair placement, and managing economy. We have a video on how to practice in our Aim Like the Pros video, so go check that out if you haven't already for some great drills that will help improve your aim. That will help a lot and get you guys started on aim training. If you are looking for more improvement, you can go check out Aim Labs or Kovacs. These are two great tools that are dedicated to help you get more tuned with your mouse and muscle memory. Some great mechanics to practice are tracking and microflicks. One thing I like to do in practice is to listen to music and do grid shot. Grid shot gives me a great sense of distance in terms of how much I need to move my mouse to get to a certain location. This is stuff you should be doing daily to help you improve. Consistency over time will yield great results. You would also really like to do this in warm-up if you can. Warm-ups are really important so that you're in the best form you can be before you start your session. Try to warm up at least 10 to 30 minutes with aim drills covering motions you will be doing in-game, such as peeking, long distance fights, killing multiple targets, and using pistols. These are all essential things that might decide a game. One early pick could be all that's needed to win a round, leading to match victory. Always warm up before a Valorant session, as you want to make sure you're near top form when you do decide to play. Next up is tilt. This might or might not be a big factor for you. A lot of us do get tilted from our teammates and it's understandable. Sometimes teammates do make a mistake, but know that you can't let it get to your head and affect your own play. That's something that can't happen if you want to climb. I see it time and time again where somebody makes a mistake and somebody flames their teammate, only resulting in a loss. When people try to blame teammates, all that does is bring down team morale and begins an argument over who's wrong or who's right. You have to move past that and accept that people make mistakes, and so do you. I'm pretty sure you aren't going 30-0 every game, so there are plenty of mistakes in your gameplay as well. Even though it's hard when you see teammates make big mistakes, you have to calm down and just say nice try and focus on winning the next round. Thinking about anything else is meaningless, and winning is what matters here. For me, my own mentality is that I'm not a perfect player and I can't expect my teammates to be as well. But if I do play consistently enough every game, I will climb. That is what you should focus on. I know some of you guys will get trolls or feeders in your game, and I apologize for that. You just have to move on and reset your mentality to focus on next game. There's no use of crying over spilled milk. If you're really tilted, which is understandable, remember to take a break. Wait like 5 to 10 minutes after a loss before you re-queue. Things you can do to relax are like walking around your room, grabbing a snack, or check your phone to get your mind off of the previous game. Do whatever it takes to get you relaxed and back into a better mentality. For the following tip, I want you guys to get talking. Nobody likes the person who's full mute throughout the game and never says anything. Communication is so important in a team-based game. You aren't playing a single player playthrough. You need yourself and the 4 other members on your team to be on the same page. I want to give you an idea of what to be talking about throughout the game. The main things you want to be talking about are how to plan your defense, attacking, economy, and ultimates. For defense, communicate where you want to play best suited towards your agent. If you're Cypher, you probably want to anchor somewhere where your camera is very useful. If you're Sage, you probably want to be near the middle of the map to be able to rotate for heals and resurrection. If you're like Phoenix or Reyna, you might want to be in a more aggressive spot like Haven Garage so that you can flash out and try to get a kill. Mainly for defense though, you want to communicate what information you're receiving. If you're an intel gatherer like Silver or Cypher, you're very important for finding areas where enemies are or where they aren't. Any information is good information. If let's say you recon dart split A main and see nothing there, there's a very high chance they're probably doing a B take or at mid, allowing your team to shift more resources over to that side of the map. Remember, your teammates won't be too aware of the fact, so you have to communicate with them. Tell them something along the lines of, hey, my recon dart didn't see anybody, I think we can rotate somebody to mid. It's plays like this that will win you a lot more rounds. If you hear a lot of footsteps coming to your site, try to buy time with utility. If you have something like a slow orb or molly, then throw that out and call for a rotation. Don't be that person without a mic in ranked. Callouts are essential to getting teammates in position to defend before the attack happens. Super essential. For attacking, call out what areas you want to attack and how to set it up. If you're attacking Haven Garage, let's say, you might want to smoke front of B and garage window and set up a flash to entry with. This would be a great take that could lead to a C split. In addition, you might want Cypher to throw down some trapwires around A to watch the flank. You want to communicate where to execute, where enemies are, damage you do, and places that are clear if you killed an enemy. Try to take charge and tell your teammates where to go. If someone also has a suggestion that sounds reasonable, don't be afraid to listen to them as well. If you want respect, you also have to respect others as well. Economy wise, mainly you want to just be coordinating buys. Communicate when to save and when to full buy. Also mention when opponents are saving and when they are full buying. If you need some more help understanding the economy, go check out our complete economy guide in Valorant. Last up is communication for ultimates. Ultimates are very powerful abilities, and you need to understand when your team is able to make a play with available ultimates and what ultimates the enemy has to play around them. If you know certain agents have their ultimate, you might not want to go to their site. If everybody on the enemy team has ultimates, you have to go for the lesser of the two evils and try to bait out ultimates somehow. For example, some ultimates to avoid in narrow chokes are Raze, Sova, and Brimstone ultimates. If you know they have ultimates and are defending like Bind A short, then you might want to consider going somewhere else where you won't be wiped out. Conversely, you can also coordinate how to use ultimates as a team. You might want to orbital like backside of Bind B while you push in with teammates and have Sage res if you lose somebody early. Same thing with Omen ultimate as well. Pushing in with Omen ultimate creates a lot of pressure on the enemy team to watch their flanks. There are a lot of ways to utilize ultimates, so make sure you communicate with your team on what are the best ways to capitalize off of them. You guys all want to be on the same page, as well as not to overuse too many ultimates to secure a round. And also, just a small tidbit to add, there will be toxic players and trolls that don't like cooperating. If you do get one of these people that don't really care about winning, but rather flaming somebody over a small mistake and they're cluttering voice comms, don't be afraid to mute them. If they have no respect for you or others, they most likely aren't going to listen anyway, so you don't need to waste your time and energy listening or talking to these kind of people. Focus on your teammates who do want to win and still give them callouts and such. Even though it's hard, don't let one bad apple spoil the whole game. Last up is something I know a lot of you guys won't like, but it's VOD review. VOD reviews show you everything you never want to see, your mistakes. But in order to improve and grow better, you have to face your mistakes head on and understand what you're doing wrong and learn from them. You might have bad habits you'll never notice, like crouching when spraying or shooting before aiming. If you can make mental notes of these things, it'll be easy to tell yourself not to do these things in game. If you don't understand what to look for in your VOD review, then we're here to help you out. Go over to ProGuides.com and hire a coach. There are plenty of amazing coaches that would love to go over a VOD review with you to see what you can improve on. I would highly suggest to start setting up something like Shadowplay or OBS to record your gameplay and then skipping to important points where you're taking gunfights or executing onto a site. I guarantee you VOD reviewing will make you 10 times a better player if you learn from them and stop repeating your same mistakes. And that is all for today's video dedicated towards the people of the lower ranks. With the advice given to y'all, hope you guys can put it to good use in your rank games. If you practice your mechanics daily and focus on communication, you guys will be solid. If you liked our video, do the usual by like, comment, and subscribing. Try not to tilt, guys, and stay as positive as hard as it may be. We need more positivity in everybody's life. As always, stay gaming, gamers. My name is Trey, and I'll be signing off.